Should be another minute or so. Mr. Santos Simao, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. All right, we're set. Now let's get started. Without any further ado, we have with us the Secretary General's Special Representative for West Africa and the Sahel, Leonardo Santos Simao, who is talking to you from Accra, Ghana. Mr. Santos Simao, welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. First and foremost, let me reiterate our condemnation of the seizure of power by force in Niger. The unfolding crisis, if not addressed, will exacerbate the deteriorating security situation in the region. It will also negatively impact the development and lives of the populations in a country where 4.3 million people need humanitarian assistance. Niger and the region do not need coups d'etat. Populations deserve to enjoy peace, democratic governance, and prosperity. heads of state of the region gathered in Abuja last Sunday for the ECOWAS Extraordinary Summit on the situation in Niger and have taken decisive action commensurate with the gravity of the situation. We remain engaged to support ECOWAS efforts towards restoring a constitutional order and consolidating democratic gains in Niger. Thank you. This is my opening remarks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. We'll now turn the floor over to questions. First off, from Edith Lederer of the Associated Press.
Thank you, Mr. Santos Simao. On behalf of the United Nations Correspondents Association for doing this briefing. It's a subject we're all interested in. My question is, the military leaders of Mali and Burkina Faso have said that the deployment of any foreign forces from ECOWAS or elsewhere would be considered an act of war, and they would join the Niger coup leaders to help fight. You were in Nigeria for the ECOWAS meeting. Do you expect ECOWAS to go ahead with the deployment of troops in light of this? Have you still been having any new discussions on what might come next in efforts to restore President Bazoum to power?
The summit gave 1 week to the military junta to hand back power to President Bazoum. If this doesn't happen after that week, then other options are on the making, including military intervention, including use of force. That's what they said. That period, in my view, is try to give time for a peaceful settlement to take place. So there have been efforts underway. Yeah, you may recall that they asked the president of Chad to go to Niamey to meet some of the key personalities involved on these matters. So, and I believe that other efforts also are underway. So I hope that the use of force eventually will not be necessary.
Is the UN involved in any of these new efforts to peacefully resolve this situation?
We are supporting ECOWAS because our role is precisely that, and not to be, but we are not engaged on any negotiations so far. But we are fully supporting all efforts to restore democratic order in that country.
Thanks. Ibtisam Azam.
Hi, my name is Ibtisam Azam, Al Arabi Al Jadid newspaper. I have a follow-up. When you say you're supporting all efforts, does this also include the statements you referred to by ECOSOC, which says, which talks about, which includes the use of force in case the military does not reinstate the elected president? And if I am just to clarify, so from the UN, from your office, you are not in any direct contact with the military, with the coup people, and when was the last time you were in contact with the President Mohamed Bazoum? Thank you.
Well, a few weeks ago, I visited Niamey. It was well before the coup. This time around, when the coup started, I tried to contact him without much success, but I sent him a message of solidarity. So now the decision of use force if necessary, it's not a UN decision. It's a ECOWAS decision. But what we value and we support more is that all means to find a peaceful solution for the problem should be used. But recognize also that ECOWAS has the right to take other measures if they feel fit.
Just to clarify, sorry, just a follow-up. So does that mean, I mean, it's clear for me that it's ECOWAS decision to, or for the issue of the use of force, but does the UN support that or not? Or do you believe in such case they would need a Security Council resolution?
No, the UN only can act with the UN mandate. Without that mandate, UN doesn't have the mandate to intervene. That's why I was saying that the eventual use of force is a sub-regional decision by ECOWAS.
Okay, Celia de Laveren.
Celia de Laveren, Africa Confidential. You talked about giving the junta 1 week. Do you think it's realistic? And do you think also it's, what is the word, realistic too, to impose sanction on a country which is the poorest country in Africa?
Well, Niger is a member of a regional organization. So when you do so, yeah, that means that you accept to abide your political behavior in line with the principles of that organization. On the other hand, yeah, you know by being a member what is going to might happen to you if you don't follow, if you violate the rules governing the organization of which you are part of. And therefore, to say that 1 week can be more than enough if everybody talks in good faith to find a workable solution, if everybody wants to avoid a bloodshed.
About the sanction, please.
But the sanctions are now have been imposed with immediate effect. Yeah, so underway. But even ECOWAS, as far as I understand, it's not for use of force. It's for negotiating a settlement of the situation. That's why they dispatched the president of Chad and the other envoys try to find a solution. But what they say is that they are going to use force if this peaceful means fail.
Murad Al Jazeera.
Thank you. From the statement that issued by the Security Council on the issue, it doesn't seem that the Security Council is willing to take actions. It supports ECOWAS, but it doesn't seem that the Security Council itself ready or willing to take actions. Do you think there is a need for the Security Council to take actions on this issue?
Well, I don't speak on behalf of the Security Council. I don't have a mandate for that. What I can say is that the Security Council issue a communique condemning the coup. So this can be a first stage before eventually taking other measures if needed. But also, it was clear by the communique of the Security Council that the organ is supporting the initiatives led by ECOWAS.
Okay, Margaret Bashir.
Hi, it's Margaret Bashir from Voice of America. Could you tell us, have you spoken with anyone in the military, any of the mutineers, and have they given you any signal whatsoever that this could be reversible? And could you also just tell us where you're speaking to us from today?
Well, I didn't talk to any of the military involved on that. As I said, we are supporting what the whole process is conducted by ECOWAS. And this will be the line we accept it. So we are going to continue along this this path to support the regional organization.
And by the way, he's speaking from Accra, from Ghana.
From Ghana. And have you had any sign that this could be reversible?
Well, it's difficult because the situation is very fluid. What I know is that different member states are preparing themselves to use force if necessary. But as I said, the situation is fluid, but there are these efforts of find a peaceful solution for the problem. Everybody is giving priority to these efforts.
Michelle Nichols?
Thank you. Michelle Nichols from Reuters. How concerned are you that this could deteriorate into a regional conflict, and how quickly that could happen?
Well, my concern is that if measures are not taken or the situation is not reversed, it's very likely that the spread of terrorism in the region can increase. So the concern is there, not only my concern, but also the concern of the region. But no one wants to see regional conflict happening. But on the other hand, according to what I understood during the summit, not only on this summit, but also in the 7 July summit, which took place in Bissau, the region decided to be intolerant to illegal seizures of power.
Okay. Abdulhamid Sayam.
Thank you. Abdulhamid Sayam from the Arabic daily Al-Quds Al-Arabi. Sir, since the end of the Cold War, there at least had been 82 military coups in Africa. Many of them were able to establish themselves and oust the previous government, being elected or not elected. Recently, there was a coup in Mali, in Burkina Faso, in many countries. In Egypt, 2013, a bloody coup. Yet the world were able to tolerate and accept this military coup. Why this is an exception? Why do you think this military coup is an exception and the African Union, ECOWAS, the UN will not tolerate this military coup? Thank you.
Well, ECOWAS has a protocol on governance on them, which member states have to abide by. The last ordinary summit in Bissau, the decision was that was twofold. One, that the region, ECOWAS, has to assist those countries in transition, namely Mali, Guinea, and Burkina Faso, to complete the process of transition through elections. Second, not accept coup d'etat anymore. So it is in line with the second part of the decision that the heads of state and of the region are taking this action, which is different from what they did in the past, because they understood that, well, this pattern of having a coup d'etat, then having a negotiation, 2 years also transition has to stop, as in order to discourage a similar situation to happen in the future. Because we have to take into account that until a few years ago, all West Africa and Sahel were seen as the model of stability and democratic rule, and that image has to be restored.
Linda Fasula.
Linda Fasula, NPR at the UN. My question is about potential negotiations. I believe you said that, the possible threat of the use of force by ECOWAS would only occur after, unless their peace discussions fail, or something to that effect, that there have to be some peace talks. So how much time? I mean, is there any indication, number one, that the coup leaders will participate at all, or might participate just to delay the possible use of force?
Well, I cannot go further than ECOWAS does, because we are an external organization to ECO, different institution. I'm talking based on what I could gather in the summit. And what I did was that first, they gave a week the whole process to happen. Therefore, to find that peaceful solution be found. After which, then they will take other measures. That's what I can say.
Kristen Salome.
I wonder, Kristen Salumi from Al Jazeera, could you put into perspective for us the importance of Niger for UN operations in the region, especially given in Mali the peacekeeping force there is coming to an end? We were told that there's over 1,000 UN employees in Niger, some 300 international, and so on. What kind of work is being done there, and what is at risk as instability increases in the region? Thank you.
Well, so far, our colleagues in Niger continue to run their programs. There is no sign that this can happen. In Mali, it's a different story, because given the withdrawal of NUSMA, we have to make sure that they can operate in security. If there is no security, obviously they cannot operate. So programs will have to be suspended if there is no guarantee of security for them to operate.
Nabil Abisab.
Thank you. Nabil Abisab, Al Arabi TV station. Have you had any discussions in the last 2 days with authorities in Mali and Burkina Faso? We saw that they both considered that any intervention in Niger would be considered as a declaration of war. Also, can you share with us your understanding to what's happening in the region with military leaders, because we see that this is not the first coup in the region, and it seems that there are some shared maybe atmosphere or aspirations in the military authorities to take power, or if you can share with us your thoughts about that. Thank you.
Well, on the statement, Mali and Burkina, I don't have any comment to make at this time. What I can tell you is that tomorrow I will be flying to Bamako, so I will have interaction with the authorities, and maybe these matters can be raised. But as for now, I cannot make any comment. Concerning the situation, general situation in the region, why the military, that comes by waves. This used to be a pattern until 20, 30 years ago in most countries. Now it's coming back. But some of the initial analysis, preliminary analysis, this associated also with the deficit of governance in some but also on the maybe contagion effects. When things happen in one country, might happen with country. But I want to be cautious with that, because these are just preliminary things. There are no firm studies, as far as I know, because each country is different. Yeah. So, but this is a phenomenon we have to look at. What is clear is that the ECOWAS wants this to come to a stop.
Okay, Dulcie Lineback.
Thanks very much. I wanted to find out when exactly this week-long negotiation begins. Is it today, as of today? And also, you mentioned that some countries in ECOWAS would be willing to intervene militarily. Which countries are they, and do they include Chad? Thanks.
Well, about when this started, the summit took place last Sunday. So the end of the time frame given is next Sunday. So, and on countries, I didn't say that there are some countries which were said the organization as such is willing to intervene militarily, but not singling out individual countries, but the organization itself.
Okay, if I may follow up. So which countries in the organization have expressed interest in intervening militarily? Thanks.
Well, they discussed the situation. They approved the communique. This is what I can say, but not individual countries.
Okay, Joe Klein.
It will not be appropriate for me to say this country said that, that country said that. No, this will not be appropriate for me.
Yeah, Joe Klein of Canada Free Press. At the summit meeting that you mentioned, the ECOWAS summit meeting, and in the context of discussing possible military intervention, did the subject of the mercenaries and particularly the Wagner Group come up? Because the Wagner Group is increasing its involvement in a number of the Sahel countries, and I believe has some presence in Niger.
Yeah, that was not.
What? Yeah, please, whoever else has their microphone on, please shut it down. Okay, all right. Okay, okay, now, Mr. Santos Simao, can you repeat what you were saying? Sorry, someone else had a microphone on.
Yep.
Over to you.
That the other Wagner Group was not discussed in the summit.
Okay, and then last question. I know you have to head out, so Evelyn, over to you.
Thank you, Farhan. Evelyn Leopold, Globetrotter Media. Looking at the long-range problems in the Sahel, it seems that they get military help from all sorts of countries when they need it. They get humanitarian help from the United Nations and from other NGOs, which is fine, but it's a Band-Aid. And is there any thought given to having real economic help, such as schools to educate all the young people so they don't all drift to Europe and become migrants, and other programs that even a military would agree to if it would? I'm just wondering if this is something the UN had planned or thought about and so forth.
Well, the UN approach is to have humanitarian, development, and security interventions all combined. Because without security, there is no sustainable development. You build something today, tomorrow is going to be destroyed. But at the same time, it's important to provide short-term relief to the populations in need. You have displacement of populations. The number of refugees is increasing in the region. So all these three axes have to be dealt with almost simultaneously. But security, to bring security is paramount.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks very much. And I'd like once again to thank our guest, the Special Representative for West Africa and the Sahel, Leonardo Santos Simao. Thanks very much for your time, and I wish you safe travels to Bamako.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.